Okay people, welcome back to another Fwoosh review. Today we're going to take a quick look at the NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mirage Comics Casey Jones. Yeah, this is early. NECA was set up at PowerCon last weekend with this and various other things, while Veebs and I was set up in the Fwoosh Toys booth right next door. Roll around to Sunday at the end of the show, and Randy and the guys didn't want to go lugging all this home, so we were more than happy to help out. And then I had to arm wrestle Veebs in order to bring this home and review it, but we did decide that it'll go back to him once I'm done because he's got to take pictures for the front page and he's got that big old turtle shelf to plug holes in, but I'm going to be getting one of these at some point. Looking at the package, it's what we're becoming accustomed to with this line. They got the window showing the stuff, you got the backgrounds, some artwork from the comics. Same for the box. Here's some artwork, here's some words. On the side, ooh, that does look nice. On the back, pretty promotional shots showing different accessories, different poses, other characters in this line. On the other side, a little more picture, a little more window, a little more words. Same thing on the top, except for the pictures, but there's our choking hazard. Don't put them in your mouth. Come on. On the bottom, here are the credits, the legalese, the barcode. Let's get this open, see what's going on here. While I wasn't really big into the Mirage comics themselves, I always liked the style. There's a dirtiness, a grunginess to it. And while there isn't a lot of heavy shading here, the overall sculpt, and especially these lines, do a lot to make you think, oh, well, okay, these are from a comic book. Those black lines can be a bit jarring if you're not into the style. You're looking at it and I need a Casey Jones, but then it's comic. I keep going back to that, and I'm going to say it a lot. Comic book lines on it. But once you get 1 or 2 or 7 figures on a shelf, they really blend together. It's definitely another indicator that, oh, these are all from the same source. And that's the style NECA's going for. So, there you go. There's the gray shirt, where at first I thought, well, there is some shading in there, but that's just the lights dancing in the sculpt. The sweatpants with the tie on the front coming down. There's some wrinkles around the waist, but gets fairly tight at the legs. While I say that, there's a little muscle up here, but they get baggy again down here. And then the elastic band, you know, like sweatpants. Some boots down at the feet, where they're supposed to go, over feet, with straps, and this detail work here. Some fingerless gloves. There is some sculpt to separate the, well, what is supposed to be glove and what is supposed to be flesh. More wrinkles around on the ass and on the back of the shirt. Nice torn sculpt around the sleeves where he just kind of ripped them off. He didn't care about being pretty about it. That's showing the guns with some musculature and some abs poking through. And I like how the shirt isn't straight across. Adds just a little bit of asymmetry to it. Again, Casey was just ready to get on the streets. He's not worried about where the shirt's hanging. But the focal point of any Casey Jones figure is always the mask. Well, that's just the focal point of the character itself. Without the mask, you can usually tell because of the clothes, but that's the moneymaker. Nice detailed sculpt to it, a little rough and tumble. Oh, well, no, that's mostly paint. It's not actually sculpted in there, the dings and the dents. But look at the wild hair just whoosh, up and out from behind it. And the brown dry brush does a ton to pop the details, even there on top. Then the strap for the mask is painted going up and over, and you can see some peeking out right there and a little bit right there. It's just a good looking figure overall. I love the proportions. I will say that it's had the standard problem of the paint chipping off the wrist joint. You can see this one still has some paint on it, but the plastic is molded in a color that's damn close. You still see it under there, but in most positions, it's not noticeable. I haven't noticed any chipping anywhere else, though. The boots, see, the plastic is in that same color. And then before you ask, the rubber crotch cover, there hasn't been any chipping on it either. Going over articulation, there is a dumbbell joint at the top of the neck, which allows for some up, little down, not bad tilt. Pin at the shoulder rotates around. This is not soft, so you gotta kind of go out to avoid that. Hinge at the shoulder, about right there. Swivel at the bicep, double elbow comes up to there. Swivel at the wrist with a hinge that goes in and out. Ball joint up inside the bottom of the shirt. Because that is not a soft piece, it limits it a bit. It goes to about right there. Some arc back. It's actually more tilt. Then there's a swivel at the waist for turning action. Like I said, rubber overlay there, so the ball coming out to the hip goes up to about right there. Back and out. Then there's a swivel right there that allows for rotation. Double knee comes up to there. Oh, so close. Swivel at the top of the boot. Hinge at the ankle goes back about that far, forward, and then a forward-facing pin for rocker. For accessories, there are 2 fists, then there's 2 grip hands. But besides this grip hand, there's also a smaller grip for the right hand, and that's for the golf club because it has a smaller grip than the others. It has a white head on it, some gray, some brown, the black lines because it's Mirage Comics. There is some flex to it, but because of the thinness, I am kind of scared to get rowdy with it. We are going to put, oh, yeah, not a problem. See the difference when compared to the bat? Again, there's the browns, there's the blacks, there's the grays, and there are actually two of those. The grips have some flex to it, so you can open it up and put the baseball bats in. Oh, right. I'm just going to push it in. To hell with it. Double bats are always my favorite when it comes to Casey. To get more distance, there's the hockey stick. Again, the browns, the grays, the blacks, and quite a bit bigger, but it's easy to double grip the hockey stick too. If you don't want them holding the weapons, but want to keep it stored on the figure, there's also the golf bag. The browns, the black lines, there is some sculpted wrinkles in there, but oh man, just the comic line art does so much. Even a little pouch on this side. Now they have it pictured going over the left shoulder, so the easiest way is to remove the head, get it down in position, and then pop this bad boy back on. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of the hockey stick poking up and out this far. So when I eventually get mine, he'll probably be holding this and then have these weapons stored in the back because he's always at the ready to kick some ass. Then to finish it off, you've seen me pop the head several times. It's easy enough to do. And then pop on the alternate unmasked head. And ooh, that's a face only a mother could love. Again, very reminiscent of the comics. He wasn't the prettiest of boys, but he's our Casey, and that's all that matters. Business in the front, party in the back. To complete that look, there's also a mask that hangs from the straps. I guess you could just put it in his hand if you wanted to. Yeah, that's not bad. Or even better, in a dio, if he's relaxing, watching TV or whatever, this can be on the floor off to the side and, you know, his go bag. I have noticed several times of me popping the head. This is just how I do it. I grab the chin, I push up, and pop off. The brown of the hair has been rubbing on the back here, so it's getting a little messy, but on both heads, the mullet hides that, so it's not that big a deal, at least not to me. Casey stands at, well, almost exactly 6.5 inches to the top of his hair, which works perfectly with the NECA Mirage turtles that came out quite a few years ago. I can't remember exactly when. And it's the same with the human type characters that has come out in this line over the years. Is April supposed to be that small? If you only collect Casey Jones, and there's nothing wrong with that, here's another couple of NECA versions. This is the 1990 movie version, and then the cartoon version that I actually borrowed from Beebs because I don't have one, but I wanted to do this. And I also borrowed the vintage and the reaction from them to get this comparison. But the Super 7 TMNT Ultimates Casey is mine, along with the 2012. That is the 2012, right? And then to give you an idea with other turtles, here is the NECA movie and cartoon. And then Super 7 Ultimates and Playmates. Is this the old classics version? For the tried and true Fwoosh comparison, here is the Hasbro Star Wars Black Series version 1 of the Stormtrooper and the Marvel Legends comic book Black Panther. So at the end of the day, I've been looking forward to this figure since they announced it, and it doesn't disappoint. Like I said way back at the first, I've always liked the Mirage designs. They're grungy. There's a darkness to it. And again, it's not really emphasized by the actual paints or the shading. The colors are actually kind of bright. But with those hatch marks in there, the black lines on the musculature, the wrinkles, the deep dark shading spots, it just brings out that grunginess. I'm going to say it again because that's what I think of this line, grungy. He's just a crazy bastard wearing a hockey mask, slapping people with baseball bats and golf clubs. I mean, what else do you want? Now, I know the gray shirt is a sore spot for some people. It's not like it's exactly wrong, but at the same time, the red is much more iconic. Me, I can go either way, but you know they're going to come out with a red. It just comes down to the style. Yes, I love Casey Jones in all versions, all iterations, but there's something about this one that he can take out all the rest of them. Well, I don't know. The movie Casey is pretty hardcore. I think this stands above just because, and I'm excited about the Mirage line. So maybe that's adding to my anticipation. And now I got to send this back to Veebs. Or do I? If you enjoyed the overview, comment, like, subscribe. Much love to the plus. If you're interested in seeing videos early or in a position to help out the channel, patreon.com. But wherever you may be watching this, I'll always catch you on the Fwoosh. Ooh, but when I do get my own, that'll be most of the characters that I usually buy when it comes to a TMNT display. I gotta have, well, of course, the Turtles. I've gotta have Shredder. I've gotta have Casey and April. Well, I did get the Fugitoid, huh? Will this be the line that I finally go all in? I did get most of the movie stuff, but skipped some of the even the cartoon Casey. This one, though, this one's getting me excited. And plus, there's more Mirage Turtles coming, so maybe I can have some over here, some over here, some over there. Turtles everywhere.